Alright! It's okay. Alright, okay. Like a Narnia vibes.
Yeah. That a stranger that 2 years bikin like
Totally stranger and well found she doesn't scream or freak out.
He maintains that formal distance you would expect when meeting a stranger.
Yeah, exactly. And if you listen the way of the actress play her,
So guys, be careful with manipulative. Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Caroline, your host for today's episode. So today I'm so pumped to be chatting with you guys because the topic is not just super interesting, but it's a really meaningful. But yeah, of course, I'm not flying solo today because I've got three of my friends in here. So guys, say hi.
Hi!
Alright, so give our listener a proper shout out. Do you guys still remember our catchphrase, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
let's do it together.
Hi!
Welcome
to Astron Roar!
Podcast ya? It's okay. So, anyway, let's get to know everyone first. Who did the first one?
hi guys, my name is Miguel Angel Garcia Manuel.
Hello guys, I'm Yuri Konofolina.
Hi guys, I'm Kesha Damayanti.
Okay, so how's everyone doing? How you guys been lately?
I'm obviously amazing today.
Nice.
I'm feeling great today.
Never better. How about you?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. Alright, so what's the agenda for today? What we gonna talk about right now?
Let me think. What is it again?
What is that? What is
Yeah, what is that? What is that?
So, we're gonna talk about politeness in the movie Narnia 1, The Witch, The Lion and the Wardrobe. Sorry, The Lion, The Witch, The Wardrobe. We're going to look at how the characters communicate from the ones who are super well-mannered to ones who are, well, yeah, pretty manipulative. So, everyone, please put, I prepared something for you guys.
Yeah.
So, in here, I have...
Is this?
Yes. Okay. Take one. Your Majesty, please put your crowns on.
Well,
Thank you.
I feel like a king right now.
Well, it feels really like a Narnia vibes.
Yeah.
Alright.
That is
feel like
so
they're
in
Narnia.
vibes already.
That so fits so well with you guys. The crown is really pretty.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, today it's going to be a pretty chill chat, but we're definitely keeping it informative. Hopefully, we can give everyone a fresh perspective of how politeness actually plays out in the world Narnia. But before we dive deep, do you guys have watched it?
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is a favorite movie, right, for everyone. Nice. Well, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the politeness analysis, let's start with a quick synopsis, just a little warm-up for our listeners who might need a bit of refresher. It's important to get the context right before we start breaking down how these characters like to each other.
Mrs. McCready.
I'm afraid so.
The professor is unaccustomed to having children in this house. And as such, there are a few rules we need to follow. There will be no shouting or running.
So, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was released in 2005, and it's adapted from the legendary novel by C.S. Lewis. Do you guys know
Yeah, for real. Of
Because
course.
he is really famous, right?
Yeah, he's famous for his artwork.
Okay, so the story starts during World War II, where these four siblings, Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy, are evacuated from London to Professor Kirke's house just to stay safe. Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
This the most iconic part of the movie was when they playing hide and seek in the old manor.
Yeah, I know. I remember that scenes.
Yeah, then when Lucy hid in a big wardrobe that turned out to be anything. As soon as she stepped inside, she literally stumbled into another world. And then that's Narnia,
Oh, yes.
land of a mythical creature.
And what even crazier is that Narnia is under the massive curse, right?
Exactly. It's a curse from the White Witch that makes it always winter but never Christmas. Just imagine that constant snow but zero Holy Spirit.
Bro, that's just so brutal. That's a freezing cold and not Christmas coming out.
Anyway, in Narnia, Lucy meets Mr. Thomas the Faun. Their meeting is actually one of the examples of politeness we are going to dissect today, especially the way they first interact. It's just a wholesome. After Lucy, the other siblings eventually make their way into Narnia too. But the real conflict kicks off when Edmund meets the White Witch first. Sorry, this witch she basically sells this fake politeness to him.
Also, that scene when the Edmund go from the Beaver family, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that the scene with the candy and the Turkish delight?
Spot on. But it wasn't just about the candy. It was a full-on manipulation tactic. Basically, she was polite masking to lure Edmund in.
Yeah, honestly, that part always makes me a little tense. Like, I not just trust someone that a stranger
Yeah.
that too easily, you know.
Yeah. When I
Yeah.
watch that, I feel so confused. Why Edmund believe her?
Yeah, well,
So first meet.
you have to remember that he was feeling pretty bitter toward his siblings at this time, especially Peter. Then his White Witch come along and promise he will be the king.
Wow. That's a classic sibling drama, right? But with some seriously high stake.
For sure, but at the story move along, the four siblings cross paths with the Beaver family, who are just incredibly helpful and kind-hearted.
Oh, I love them. They are so friendly.
Yeah, they're cute too.
They're cute too.
Yeah.
And then it turns out there's this ancient prophecy. It says the four siblings are destined to help Aslan defeat the White Witch and bring peace back to Narnia. They are basically the lands. Let's hope.
Yes, yep, that exactly what the things go south. Edmund sneaks off to find the White Witch, and because of that, the others end up getting hunted by the witch's secret police, which is basically just pack of wolves.
Yeah, honestly, that part is so nerve-wracking. Just watching them try to outrun those wolves, it's so sequence just to watch.
Oh, so there's so much going on at one scene.
Yeah, totally luckily. They make it out safe and manage to join Aslan camp to prepare the final war.
Also, to showdown against the White Witch.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
alright. So, I mean, this movie is just packed with moral lessons, and one of the most interesting ones is definitely the politeness
Yeah.
Yeah,
aspect, the way they talk, they act, the way they carry themselves, and how they interact. It runs from being generally wholesome to being super manipulative, like
Yes.
the White Witch
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Alright, before we jump into the character analysis, let's lay down some groundwork. So, all our listeners are on this same page with us, who wants to give a quick breakdown of what politeness actually means in the world of linguistics. Who's that?
Oh, I got this. So, in linguistics, the politeness isn't just about saying please or thank you. It goes way deeper than that. It's basically the study how people deliver message without damaging the social relationship or someone's reputation. That what linguists call face, for example. Say you want to turn down a friend fight, but you don't want to hurt their feeling, or how you ask for a favor without making them feel like their turn doesn't matter and are part of the politeness strategy. There are tons of theories out there, but the most famous and relevant one for our analysis today is Brown and Levison politeness theory from 1987.
Okay, so we are talking about a pretty powerful framework here. Yeah.
Yes, according to Brown and Levinson, there are several strategies people use. Today, we are going to focus two big ones that in Narnia.
Okay, so can you please break it down for us about the politeness?
Alright, first is politeness positive. This strategy is all about showing closeness, warmth, and common ground. When we use this, we other person feel value, appreciate, and like they are part of the group.
Okay.
And
And the negative one?
negative politeness is like focus on showing respect for privacy, autonomy, and formal distance. When you use negative politeness, you are trying not to overstep or infringe to someone's freedom.
Okay, so it's like a manipulative.
Yeah.
That's
The white witch
White
doing.
witch. Go with-
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, okay.
Polar, and don't forget, politeness isn't just verbal; it's also non-verbal, like gesture, body language, and facial expression, and even your tone of voice. All of that can represent politeness or even politeness. In a visual medium like Narnia, non-verbal cues are crucial because we can see their expressions and body language, which communicates a lot about their true interaction.
Okay, so nice. So it's not just using soft language, but use gesture is like a non-verbal is.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's much
Exactly.
broader. It's the whole communication package. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
From the words and gesture to the tone and the actual intent behind the conversation.
Okay, so now that we got the theory down, we are officially ready to deep dive into Narnia and analyze some scenes. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so yeah, let's start with most iconic one. In your opinion, what kind of politeness stand out the most when Lucy first meets with Mr. Tumnus? This happens pretty early on, right after the steps through the wardrobe.
Oh man, that scene is so heartwarming. Lucy on her best behavior from To Get to Go. She introduced herself quite formally. Her voice are smooth, soft, and gentle. And she shows so much respect to Mr. Thomas. And then he's totally stranger and well found. She doesn't scream or freak out. Stay curious but stay incredibly respectful to Lucy.
Oh yeah, and then Mr. Thomas,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he gives off, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He gives off measure with this gentleman. He gives us like bow. He is super well spoken, using phrases like pardon me and would you like some tea? Yeah, that's actually a very elegant elegant, form of negative politeness. He is giving Lucy her space, asking for permission, and showing deference. Yeah, even though she's just a child, he maintains that formal distance you would expect when meeting a stranger. He doesn't just assume they are best friends immediately. He offers hospitality with such proper courtesy.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
like
yes.
when he give the Lucy pillow,
Yeah,
because Lucy
yeah.
feels sleepy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
positive
That's
politeness.
that's negative politeness because he was trying to manipulate him and manipulate her
Yeah,
to
right.
be.
Use
Enjoy with
that
him.
pillow. Alright. So the hospitality is really top notch in it. He welcomes her into his cave, over her food, and give her shelter from the snow.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that Mr. Thomas also shows non-verbal positive politeness, like when he flaws the pillows so Lucy can be comfortable. Yeah, or the way he prepares the tea with such care. Those small gestures show genuine warmth and concern for her well-being.
So we can say that a verbal or non-verbal can give the pillows
That's a verbal.
with non-verbal.
With non-verbal,
yeah.
Non-verbal.
Oh yeah, alright, because Mr. Thomas with egg to give Lucy pillows. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
And yeah, it's important because the scene established that in the world of Narnia, the politeness is core value even between different species. It set the tone for the listener that the movie is going to explore the relationship through the language and behavior. The fact that Lucy and Mr. Thomas, two complete strangers from different species, can communicate with such mutual respect is just honestly beautiful.
Totally. So this scene is basically our best line for positive politeness, genuine warm, mutual respect, and real intense interest in the other person. Got it. All right. Let's move on to the next scene. All right. Moving on to the next scene. It's really a fan favorite and my favorite.
Yeah.
Do you guys the beavers? Who's the favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. They are cute animal.
That's your favorite too, right?
Yes.
Because Weaver family runs into the Perkins kids in the woods and invites them to over of their place. What kind of politeness are we seeing there?
Oh, there's a lot. Miss Beaver is just the ultimate mom figure, warming, nurturing, and she immediately shows she's scared. Yeah, I mean, they just met this third sibling, and she already offering food, drinks, and place to crash. That's not just hospitality; it's super strong form of non-verbal positive politeness. Miss Weaver also used real warm language like "Don't worry there" or "Please come in" with such a genuine tone. It's perfect verbal positive politeness strategy because she's using term of endearment and offering help without even being asked, making them feel welcome and value, and acknowledging how exhausted and uncomfortable they must be.
Yeah.
And exactly, Mr. Beaver show a different style of politeness. But it's just a warm, he's more casual and straightforward, but still very respectful. He explained everything about Aslan and give them a hands up about the White Witch. All with the protective tone, never conceding or looking down on them.
So that's the reasons why the beaver families we say that they are really friendly, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
very warm.
Miss Beaver act like
Mother
she's
figure.
a mother figure, right?
Okay. And check out the physical setting of the Beaver Lodge. It's small, cozy, with a fireplace and plenty of food. The beavers intentionally created an environment that feels safe and welcoming. This is non-verbal politeness. On an environmental level, they are showing, not just saying, you are safe here, you can rest, and you are protected.
I want to meet them. So the beavers are basically the gold standard for wholesome, positive politeness throughout the entire movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
From the start and finish, they're consistent with their warmth, generosity, and genuine concern from the previous sibling. It's the perfect contrast to what we'll see in the White Witch later on.
Okay, it's noted. So beavers is authentic, positive politeness. Got it. Now
Yes.
let's move on to the something a bit more complex.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, next is the White Witch. She's the perfect example of someone who is linguistically polite, but actually deeply manipulative. When exactly does she first cross paths with Edmund?
Yeah. This is all goes down when Edmund gets separated from his siblings after they wander out of the professor's place. He is feeling all angry and resentful toward the others, and that's when he runs into her in her sleigh, right in the middle of the woods. Okay, now, and the White Witch uses some seriously sophisticated record from politeness and manipulative strategies. Check out how she handles their first meeting.
To get Edmund positive reaction. I mean, like Edmund
Like to manipulate it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
good
Edmund-
things.
Yeah, White Witch say, "You look cold, my dear boy. Would you like to sit closer to the fire?" On the surface, it sounds totally innocent, but it's actually a move. She's mixing for my politeness, like saying "would you" with these super intimate terms like "my dear boy." She is basically manufacturing this fake sense of closeness. This is a classic of record politeness because she's using it as a tool to manipulate him. Yeah, not because he actually respects his boundaries.
just to make Edmund believe.
Believe us. Yeah.
She is good one. And
Manipulative.
yeah, even and then she just kept going, like saying, I have something special for someone as special as you. Giving him that Turkish delight wasn't just a random gift. It was totally bribe. She was wrapping her hidden agenda in a layer of generosity which looked like positive politeness on the outside, but it's pure manipulation on the inside. The candy itself, it's offered politeness in action. She doesn't flat out say, "Hey, I want you to betray your family," but she using give as a communication strategy. It's like she's saying, "I'll take care of you, unlike your sibling. I'll treat you like a king."
Yeah, exactly. And if you listen the way of the actress play her, she got this smooth, almost seductive voice and super calm. That's a non-verbal politeness.
Yeah.
Strategy right there. She using her tone to build this illusion to trust, but underneath is all calculated.
Yeah, the real stroke of genius stuff is when she says, "You shall be Prince Edmund and later King Edmund." This is big and right politeness. She is not telling him to turn on his family, but she is downing that power and recognition. He is so desperate for she is validating all his bitterness, making him feel understood and valued for the first time.
Okay, so the White Witch is the opposite from the Beaver family, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's basically the master of false politeness, using it as total disguise.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
and this is honestly the most dangerous form of politeness. When it's weaponized, Brown and Levinson pointed that while off-record politeness is useful in many contexts, it can also be a perfect vehicle for deception when someone has bad intention.
So guys, be careful with manipulative.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Be careful.
And then the second sis doesn't act anymore, like when she starts threatening him with her words that must just slip right off. She goes for my dear boy to pure intimidating in her heartbeat. It proves her politeness was never real. It was just a mask.
Okay, got it,
That's
got it.
hard.
So the White Witch is the complete antithesis of the Beaver family. One is the real deal, the other is a total fraud. Alright, let's pivot. I want to see how politeness show up in the siblings on dynamic. Alright, Al, give us your take. How does the politeness dynamic work among the four siblings, Peter, Edmund, Susan, and Lucy, especially when you contrast them with each other?
Alright, here we have Lucy. She's the most constantly polite one, respectful to everyone, Mr. Thomas, Behavior, Aslan, and Edmund after he betrayed them. She used positive politeness all the time, complaining people, showing concern and being encouraging. In linguist terms, she used a lot of softener like I'm sorry, but, or would you mind if. She balanced positive and negative politeness perfectly and comes across as genuine kindness, not manipulation.
She's really cute and have a soft heart. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's adorable.
Adorable.
And then we got the oldest son, Peter. He is a leader, typically show formal politeness. He used negative politeness a lot to maintain his authority without being a total dictator. He is respectful toward the Beaver and Aslan, and he is very protective of his sibling. But he does have moments where he's pretty curt with Edmund, especially after the betrayal. His politeness is sometimes intense with disappointment.
Yeah.
He feel like a true leader, like a true brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to protect my family.
Yeah, exactly.
He has the responsibility.
Big
Yeah.
responsibility.
Alright,
Next.
next one is Susan. Susan is the diplomat. She is very balanced, warm like Lucy, but truthful like Peter. She uses positive politeness with her peers, but stick to formal politeness. With authority figure like Asan, she very strategic with her word and is often the one managing conflict. She's polite but firm in her opinions.
She's the oldest, so I think she act like
Peter.
the Peter and Lucy because she's the oldest.
Yeah, and I think she's the most logical one out of four siblings. That
Yeah.
And then last one, we have Edmund. This is the most interesting one early in the film.
Why? Why?
Because Edmund is definition of impoliteness. He's a critic, dismissive toward Peter, and then resentful.
I think the reason, because he has had his sibling, right?
Yeah.
he feel like he's the one that left out, like the one that the bottom line.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
especially with Peter.
Yeah, Peter like the towering over him.
And then he gets from impoliteness too and manipulation, right? Then to redemption and finally to restore politeness.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's so cool about Enmud's arc is just not just the bad guy turned good story, is especially a journey of politeness restoration. When he first betrayed them, using deceptive language, lying and hiding his allegiance with which the language impoliteness, but when he sees the sacrifice Aslan made for him, he shows genuine remorse, and remorse itself is a form of politeness because you're acknowledging your mistake and showing respects to the people you have hurt.
So basically, Edmund is like politeness as a form of moral development.
Yeah, of course. Beautiful. Yeah, she is beautifully. Yes. Politeness isn't just about manners. It's about respect, empathy, and accountability. And Edmund learns about that through his journey.
Okay, so that's the reason why I would say that Edmund is really interesting character, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, couldn't agree more. Well, everyone, that's wrap up to our deep dive into the politeness, the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe. I really hope you guys learned something new today, and maybe you will appreciate the movie in a whole different way, or even apply this insight to your own communication. If you enjoyed this, of course, the positive politeness, right?
Yes.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends, especially the ones who love Narnia or are into the linguistic on communication. And yeah, Yeriko, can you hit our listeners with one last fun fact for today?
You got it. For a fun fact for everyone, the Narnia series was written by C.S. Lewis, who was eventually an Harvard professor in language and literature. So all the attention to linguistic nuances in the book and consequently the film was definitely intentional.
Love it. Thank you, Yeriko. And thanks to all you guys turning into the Astron podcast today. And yeah, we will see you in the next episode where we might explore politeness in another movie or maybe deep dive into the language themes in fantasy literature. Do you guys still want to comment? Together? Why?
Next time.
Why? You need to answer yes, sure, of course.
Yeah, maybe, but we don't know.
Alright. So don't forget to check out the podcast from our class. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.